I'm going to provide a quick little overview of kind of how the leveling jacks work in particularly my RV. And so, and it should be pretty much the same as what you see on all the other RVs as well. The HWH system and the power gear system that I've had in the two motorhomes I've had so far, they've all kind of had a a control panel of some sort, which is connected to a control board. And this particular control panel will usually connect to a motor and a pump at some point. And the job of the pump is to operate and actually extend the jacks. And the valves are what kind of connect that pump between the two. And so the basic premise of it is this. I'm kind of speeding through here real quick, is that the controller is tied directly to the pump, and then you've got the pump is tied directly to the jack. And so when you push the button on the controller has 12-volt lines that run to the pump, which then opens up valves and turns on or turns off the pump, depending on what you're requesting the pump to do. This hydraulic hose is a two-way hose in that it actually lets it lets hydraulic fluid go forwards and backwards. There are other hydraulic type systems where there'll be two hoses tied to it. One is for pushing it either which way. But in ours, it's a simple single action hydraulic pump or hydraulic foot. And then the spring is actually used to retract the jack. So the pump pushes the hydraulic fluid down the hose into the jack, which then extends the jack out. And once it reaches the desired extension, the valve closes and then the pump turns off. And when the valve closes, it prevents the fluid from returning back to the hydraulic pump and reservoir. Once you decide you want to retract the jacks, what happens is the controller will then just open the valve, leave the pump turned off, and then the spring that's attached to our jacks actually is what does the retracting and pushes the hydraulic fluid back into the reservoir. And if you could just kind of introduce yourself and what you do and kind of how you know about this type of stuff, so people kind of understand you are the expert on this. So
okay. Anytime?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just forget that the camera's even there.
All right. My name's Ray. I'm in hydraulics. I've been doing it for 35 years. These are jacks for an RV. They're single acting displacement type jacks. The seals are all down on the bottom. On the top side have nothing but guides. These were hung up just from dirt and debris built up on the bottom, working like a brake. When you run these, they should be self-bleeding just by operating, extending, letting them retract. The air will come back, because the air will go to the top. It'll come back up through the line back to the reservoir and vent out that way.
So on these, when I brought them to you, the feet were bent.
Right.
Really bad. And I don't remember which one was the one with the bent feet, because
I'm thinking this one might be.
Because you did such a good job straightening
Kinda
it all
hard
out.
to tell.
I'm not entirely sure how you pulled it off. But, with that half inch of plate on the bottom of it,
Yeah, that'll never bend.
will definitely never bend.
No.
And then the other issue I had was one of them was really slow to retract.
Right.
And you said you found...
It's debris down the bottom. They have a grease fitting down on the bottom of these. I don't know if it's a really great idea. I've never seen a cylinder with a grease fitting there. It's just greasing between the wiper and the actual seal. It might be a good idea down there if they start to hang up, just flushing that out, some real light grease or something, or even putting oil through it. And just let the oil won't go back up inside, but it'll force the dirt out past the wiper.
Okay.
And come back down. That may be the best way to go.
So you do that with them extended and then force the oil into it? Or?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really matter. Just down enough so you can get at it. It really doesn't matter because extending them a little bit will leave a positive pressure on top side because the seal in the thing is actually sealing the oil from in here from going out. It's not really, won't seal anything going the other direction.
Okay.
It'll just close the seal. So just extend them a little bit out, and then well, you could try some real light grease or some light oil.
Okay.
You know, but I don't know how old these are. It could just be over years and years of it just building up.
These were built in 2009.
Yeah, so they're not that old.
Yeah, they were put on a 2010 motorhome.
I think a lot of it's because these don't get used a lot.
Yeah.
Not everyone's out there running them all the time.
So one of the other things that people say is whenever you get a jack that's slow to retract or you kind of got to help retract, they say to spray it with silicone spray and that'll help make it retract faster.
I kind of doubt it. It may, but I really don't see why. It gets wiped off by the wiper. As the steel goes up through the wiper. That's what it's there for, knock off debris, dirt, and whatnot. I don't really see much of that get by the wiper unless the wiper's shot. And by that time, the seal's probably leaking anyway.
And you'd know that because there'd be
there's oil
on the
It's
actual...
going to run out. They're one-way cylinders. Got nowhere else to go.
They gotta go down.
Yeah, the oil's got nowhere else to go.
And so ultimately, what'll happen is when they do get slow, that's usually kind of the result of debris getting into either around the wiper or
on these anyway. I would say that. Yeah.
And so the only possible way to be is try to find some way to clean the wiper.
Yeah, and that might be why they put that grease fitting there
on the bottom.
But I've never seen any. Well, I don't do RVing, but and most of the cylinders I deal with are double acting, so they're pressure out and pressure back, so nothing stops them.
Yeah.
Nothing stops them.
Well, these in comparison to what you normally work on are kind of...
They're tiny.
Yeah, and these are kind of like a big black box. People are scared of them in general. They don't know what to do with them, and when they don't work right, because, I mean, to replace this jack, brand new, is $1,000.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right? It's $1,000. But...
It's an RV.
Yeah.
It's like buying boat parts.
Pretty much. It's pretty much, they mark it up like crazy. And, one of the things I've been telling a lot of people, I'm like, you don't need to buy new ones. Just find yourself a local guy who knows hydraulics. And
any hydraulic shop can do it.
So
really any hydraulic shop. These are simple.
And that's, and that was kind of, until I talked to you, I didn't even know that, right? I learned that from you. And, and the other side of it was...
Someone told them that. Well, probably the people who made the little hydraulic pump, but it's nothing but a little gear pump.
Yeah, it's a 12 volt, right?
Yeah,
it runs on a
just
battery.
a little. Yeah, so there's no difference in the trim on the back of a boat. It's the same type of power unit. That's all it is.
It's got a little bitty solenoid that sits there, and as you hit the button, it applies 12 volts, opens a valve, right? And then as that pump is pumping, it pumps the fluid right out.
It to one or the other.
Just to one of the jacks, and boop, and there you see it come out. And so these jacks have. So these are. It says 12,000 or 15,000 pounds. I think I weigh 16,000, so they carry about 8,000 pounds each. It's about what they carry on each one of them. And these are the ones that have the most work.
Up in front.
They're in the back.
They're in the back.
Because it's a diesel motor.
Oh, it's in the back.
Yeah. So it's having to pick up the motor plus that axle and those tiles.
Sure.
Right? And that's where all your, that's 5,000 pounds probably right there.
Yeah, those are big engines.
And so, these are the ones that get the most work. The ones in the front work perfect. The feet look great, And the one thing I was telling you before, and I'm so glad you got here and worked it and figured out why it was running, because my motorhome has an automatic leveling system that doesn't have a very good manual mode, and so it's hard to fine tune it. My last one that I had a good manual mode, to where I could actually just operate the jacks myself and use a level. Right? I'd have to get underneath there with a jack and get it going, and then it would come the rest
look at the lines too, make sure they're not kinked or something.
They were pretty straight across, but that one's tight. I wish I had a jumper, or some way
extend it.
Yeah, just a foot.
Well, you can get that at a hydraulic shop. You just need to take, because just this being off of here, you take it to a hydraulic shop. They know the end of the hydraulic line screws onto that. So if you tell them, I want one foot long,
It extends
Then I
it.
can put, because one side's going to have this on, the other side's going to have the female side that'll screw onto this.
Yeah.
Costs $10-15.
Oh, done.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that before I put it back in.
Yeah, that's a 1/8 pipe, 1/8, not pipe, 1/8 JIC fitting. That's what it is.
It was this one. I know because this is the one I knocked loose. This one, oh, you knocked, okay.
I took them off to check them with air.